Was a bit of a heated discussion, though. Nice win, Bam Boozler. Important things happening in the games industry. 505 Games has a new community manager. Demo scene is where a bunch of stuff, most of the people in Europe do experimental computer graphics and electronic stuff for fun. I mean, yes, we have stuff like that in Vancouver too. People, a lot of fan games, a lot of old stuff. Great music, game jam stuff. I mean, the demos, saying, are you aware of the demo scene is such a broad statement. That's like saying, are you aware of game jams? Okay, well, you're gonna, yes, but are you gonna need to be a little bit more specific? Yes, I'm aware of the demo scene, I guess, to answer your question properly. It makes you blush and ask you, yes. It's an ad symbol that's all glowing red with big rosy cheeks. But, yes, I am familiar with stuff like that. A lot of that weird experimental shit. Quite into it, in fact. I just thought Ludum Dare was super cool. I just go to itch.io whenever I know that there's a event happening or a game jam happening, and peek around. I'm always scared of being on here though, because every now and again I'm on here and there's just like random porn game. Generally doesn't happen, but if you just go to jams. Gives you the schedule. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on. And then you can just be like, all right, well, let's pick a jam that people have joined. Sure. The theme. And then once that's over, you can then click on submissions and play their games. It's great fun. In the rural shitholes of Ontario. But yeah, no, that's where I get all my game jam shit. All my independent games stuff. Every now and again, you find some gold. All right, so we are continuing Joyousfell, the Pit of Waters. I mean, here's the thing. There's no logical reason for us to go to Germany for that stuff because we have similar scenes here, right? Like, there's lots of that stuff happening in Seattle and Portland. And that's just a train ride away from me. There's a lot of stuff like that happening in Vancouver, which is where I'm from anyway. Like, trust me, scenes like that are not unique to Germany. Not even remotely unique. But it's also the reason that I don't, you know, go to Germany for anything. Sure, I mean, you have specific conventions. We also do. So I'm just going to quickly get these beds laid out because I was going to do this right at the end of yesterday and didn't. So I'm just going to do that right now. Why would I mean, if I really wanted to take part in the community for that, there's the Greater Vancouver Retro Music. And then there's also the Retro Tech Festival that happens in Vancouver. Both which have similar scenes to that. Sure, maybe the Germany one is bigger. There's also a retro/radio convention that happens in Portland every year. I need one more bed. Only have one door. I'm just saying, like, that we have equivalents and versions. Maybe yours is bigger, but if I'm interested in something like that. Besides, the niche convention that I really want to go to, since we're on the subject, the niche convention I really want to go to is the roguelike celebration. That's something I'd love to go to. Would it make much sense for me to go? Not really, but I would love to go. So does Toronto. Yeah, but I don't want to go to Toronto. If I can just not go to Toronto, I'll do that. So I'll show you the achievement from yesterday, chat. This is the surface, and over here is the ocean. That right there in the middle of the ocean, that little square, that is a tower that I successfully built through the ocean. I drained the ocean fast enough that I was able to build a tower in the middle of the ocean. I know he was. I'm playing along with the conversation. Am I not allowed to do that? Actual ocean tower. So now I need to figure out what the heck to do with it. Because I hadn't really thought that far ahead. I'll be honest. Hadn't really thought that far ahead. I probably could build a platform off of it, yeah. I just don't know what to do with the platform. I'm thinking about maybe putting temples up there or something along those lines. At least you're very happy about your bedroom, Dwarf. But yeah, we're reorganizing a lot of the fort currently. Mandated construction of certain goods. Sure, boss. Short swords. Popper. Short sword. Ooh. Build a tavern on top? I was thinking like either tavern or like... we could also put like a public tavern up there and have guests up there. That or put my military up there. Or something. I mean, it's certainly not rigged to collapse. I could do that, but I'm not going to. I could also make it a defense tower, put watchdogs in it, train animals in it. Spot invaders on the shores. Besides, we haven't really gone to war with anybody yet, so... Once we go to war with people, then we can start, like, doing that. Although I'm kind of between two ideas, whether or not I want to make this into a defense tower, or whether or not I just want to make a this sort of thing, or maybe like a couple above that, or a couple below it, either or, into a giant insta-give drowning chamber. I could build a trading depot there and have drawbridges. Yeah, I could certainly do that. But they'd need to be several Z levels above the ground. That actually could be a lot of fun. Building a big old drawbridge from over here and then sealing off. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. Let's build a big old drawbridge from like here out to a platform out here, and another one from here out to there with drawbridges on either side that I could just pull lever and cut them off, and then seal off both those entrances and make that the entrance to the fort. Let's do that. Let's do that. And then put a depot up top. That, I think, is the optimal option. And I think that's the route we're going to go with. Actual fort itself, though, this is the kind of crafting area down here, as well as the area where everything drains. And then down here's our tavern, as well as the library up top. There's a llama in there, not sure why. We can eat it. Our quarters over lava? Maybe if they like lava. Lava for the heat. Can they like lava? I don't think they can. Library llama. LLL. Library llama. Down here's kitchens. A llama librarian. Sounds like a kids show. Saturday morning kids show. Brought to you by Richard Scarry, the llama librarian. Can you put a chair on a grate? I don't think so. Nope. It's probably not structurally sound enough. Yeah, so up here we could put our or maybe build a platform around here on this level. Build out a platform from up here, I think. And put a trading depot up here and have bridges. Something like around here. Around that size. Can I make glass flooring? I need glass to do that. I haven't started collecting glass because I don't have an easy location to get glass. I know where there is sand, though. So in theory, I could. You know, let's dig out this area a bunch. Make it animal safe. So I can pasture my sheep down here. So we can get ready to seal that upper area off. Also, if anybody wants a dwarf, or if you have a dwarf and would like me to check in on it, let me know. And if you don't have a dwarf and would like to know how you get a dwarf, just ask me nicely. Basically it. A floor they can see through. I mean, it would be green glass. Thank you, our bamboozler. Here, I'll read out the alive dwarves. Hobo, Sid Treefish, Mind, Squiggly, Flawboard, Blue Kiwi, SLMESS, SLMS, Dragonmins, Kibs, Johnny Woo Doda, Anander, Tapioke, Chris Jam, Ari Just, Satan's Pitbull, Eurist Mick Asper, Bergendurf, and Kukra. So no, you don't. You want a trapped Crundle? I can't name a Crundle. I don't have DF hack or anything. Also, I haven't seen a single Crundle. How's your dwarf? And then we'll name Z-Switch. Bergendurf, where were you? There you are. Here's the wood burner. You didn't feel anything when seeing dead bodies, and you got rained on recently, so your life is ruined. But in general, you seem fine. 67 years old. Minor scarring. You're fine. Pretty decent. You're already a Crundle? I mean, we haven't seen you yet, so you're very well stealthed. R.I.P. Library Llama. But Z-Switch, do you have any preferences? Same with you, Bamboozler. Roll the dice. Okay. Closing eyes, holding up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Deller, the soap maker. Feels euphoric due to inebriation, but interested after watching performance. Was annoyed after having a drink without using a goblet, cup, or mug. Third toe in his left foot is broken. I can't read this, it's too small. No, it's too big. There we go. Just tried. We don't have any military yet, but we're going to be doing that today, Bamboozler. I can give you a fisher if you want. Although the fishers are actually fishers in disguise. They're actually metalsmiths. But I can give you a fisher. Personally finds sacrifice to be one of the highest ideals and finds the pursuit of knowledge to be a waste of effort. Finds eloquence and artful speech off-putting and does not really value skills related to fighting. 18 years old, born on the 26th of Sandstone, year 388. Is mighty, quite durable, and rarely sick. Has some scars and has greasy hair and an extremely long... And his head is... His greasy hair is extremely long, his head is tall, and his ears are somewhat short. His hair is copper and his skin is pink. His lower body bears a straight scar, and his upper leg bears a short straight scar, and his lower leg bears a short straight scar. His eyes are jade. Ever since I had a dwarf that was a bard in an abandoned fort and then traveled to a new fort in the same world. Yeah, Aqua. That is pretty hard to beat. Rhinestone had a human mercenary who ran around murdering troglodytes for a while in my fort, and then I abandoned that fort. And then that human mercenary petitioned to have residence in my new fort, and I was like, damn, dude! It was entertaining. Yay! I'm happy. Friend of mine got a 98.18 on his test in 21 minutes. He is vengeful and never forgets or forgives past grievances. He pursues matters in a single-minded focus, often overthinking things. He is not readily moved by art or natural beauty, and he's conflicted by this since he values artwork and its creation. He's an optimist and can get caught up in internal deliberations when action is necessary. He occasionally overindulges and doesn't mind a little tumult and discord in day-to-day living. He is curious and eager to learn, and he is offended by that. And he takes offered help and gifts without feeling particularly grateful. He inhales sharply when he is angry, and he begins speaking in a monotone whenever he's angered, and he needs alcohol to get through the working day. Fake Fisher is fine? Okay. We'll give you Fake Fisher. Like, see, I've got a bunch of fishery workers, but they're... Well, this one's pen pasturing stuff, but... Then last season, he was blissful after sleeping in a very good bedroom, and grouchy after drinking with some old booze. But euphoric due to inebriation, is married and has 2 children. He's 58 years old, born on the 13th of Malachite in the year 300-something. 348. My eyes glazed over. His sideburns are clean-shaven, his very long mustache is neatly combed, his very long beard is braided, and his very long hair is neatly combed. His slightly upturned nose is short, and his nose bridge is slightly convex. His skin is pink, and his hair is copper, and his eyes are jade. He's kind of wrinkly. He likes obsidian, trifle pewter, red glossier, and crystal glass, giant wombat bone, and the color beige. Tetrahedra scepters, and giant rattlesnakes for their warning rattle. And he personally prefers he prefers a noisy and bustling life over boring days without activity. Values eloquence and believes it is important to conceal emotions and refrain from complaining. Does not really value skills related to fighting and doesn't particularly value the truth. Dreams of creating a great work of art. He is a dyed-in-the-wall quarreler, never missing a chance to lash out in verbal hostility. He is bothered by this since he values friendship. He is naturally trustful of everybody and finds helping others emotionally rewarding. He rarely feels discouraged and does not have a great aesthetic sensitivity. Spear and shield? I mean, depends on what you're fighting. Cutting weapons are better at removing limbs and making things bleed. And blunt weapons are better against armor. It really depends. Doesn't value the truth, trust everyone. I mean, as you do. Means he lies, but he trusts everybody. Just get that last bed placed. Yeah, I mean, Cooler's the person you really got to talk to when it comes to weapons in Dwarf. He's probably the most knowledgeable person I know. We can get that last bedroom assigned. Man, Satan's Pitbull is like the one dwarf that's real pissed off in this fort. Stabbing things, obviously. Poking upwards. I don't know, I'm just saying words. So large beasts that are not made of stone. I would assume that stone beasts, you'd want to use blunt weapons like hammers on. Like if you have a beast that's made out of a lot of rock, for example. Actually, let's do this. Are not flammable. I mean, you're just making drinks for yourself, yeah? So it shouldn't matter too much if they're not the most shelly. Unless you have like a Twitter account where you're sharing these. Kill with lemons. I do know, yes. Because we have created a combustible lemon. And we'll burn your house down. It's what you do when life gives you lemons, right? Of course. This is common knowledge. Cave Johnson made them ages ago. I think it's 700 bits for that sound clip. I mean, not me personally, but you know, it's well-known history, in fact. Technology has existed since the 80s. You just don't know the real recipe? I mean, it's a quote from Portal. Whew. Where it talks about making lemon ham grenades. So if there is a real recipe for that, news to me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that sound clip is 700 bits. Ask your sister, she's a chemist. I mean, maybe she can be more help than Old cave. I'm such a Portal fan. I got multiple Portal related tattoos, so. Oh, probably. Ash, definitely. Ash Rem. If you try hard enough, I'm sure that we could combust a lemon.
Oh, it's you.
Hey, Kibbs, what's up, dude? Are you dwarfed in this fort? I don't think you are. I think your dwarf died, actually. I'm pretty sure you were one of the drowned dwarfs. One of them drowned dwarfs. I can't find shale. There's shale blocks. You did indeed hear combustible lemons. Kibbs and Britches. He feels pleasure near a fine trade depot, and feels satisfied at work and bored after being unable to practice a craft for too long. Within the last season, he was blissful after sleeping in a great bedroom. 94 years old, born on the 12th of Moonstone in the year 312. He is romantically involved with Maffle Crazy Whips. You, of course, want to be romantically involved with a dwarf whose last name is Crazy Whips. It's like dating Knives Chow. His somewhat narrow ears have nearly fused lobes, and his very long sideburns are braided. His very long mustache is arranged in double braids, and his very long beard is braided. He personally values honesty and a harmonious existence, and dreams of creating a great work of art, likes granite, pig iron, and bloodstone, giant wombat leather and backpacks, mules for their stubbornness, and kiwis for their long beaks, and the sound of the pristine tulip, and the sight of the goldenrod's sparkle, and when possible prefers to consume sorghum beer and absolutely hates lizards. Naturally trustful of everybody and is greatly pleased by his own looks and accomplishments. Tends to be passive in discussions and likes to keep things practical without delving too deeply into the abstract. Of course. Crondle, of course. There you go. You've been dwarfed. I haven't played Zomboid in a minute. That still makes me jump. He does hate Cooler, yeah. Can't stand the reptile folk. Alright, let's move all of our pastured animals down here. In case you didn't know, we have a lot of sheep. Like, a lot of sheep. I really like the heartbreak little emote combo. It's pretty great. Pretty great. How much beer do we have? 808. We're good for a little bit. Why exactly? You're tearing me apart, Lisa. Also, chat, I'll have you know, my uncle wrote me off as someone that he's willing to talk to about movies to, because my uncle's a bit of a film buff, right? He wrote me off as somebody that he's not willing to talk about movies with when he learned that I like Nicolas Cage movies and enjoy watching The Room from time to time. Apparently that makes me unironically a bad film fan. Enjoy. Appreciate. Indeed, yeah. Movies are indeed highly subjective. I mean, one of my favorite movies of the last few years is the Nicolas Cage classic Mandy, which a lot of people don't like. But I very much enjoy, so. Yeah, no. Can get rid of these pasturing zones from up here. Oh no, everybody's running outside and puking everywhere. We don't talk about Greg. He has bad taste in movies. Now, my aunt and uncle are lovely. I think they forgive me for my poor taste in film. They were also the first advocates of Airbnb that I ever met. Or they were the first people that I knew who recommended it. Or you're going to hate it. That's like most movies I recommend to people. Granted, okay, so this is the movie my favorite movie to recommend to people to get to know me. I want to say it was 1987. Hawkeye. My name's Alexander Hakamoto. Friends call me Hawk. Hello, Mute. How was your stream? Hawkeye is horrendously terrible, but that's why it's good. It's exactly why it's good. It's one of the, they don't make them like this anymore kind of thing. It has some of the best horrendously bad acting in it. Oh my god. That movie is perfect. So this is above an ocean. Had terrible delay? Why'd you have such bad delay? It should be at worst 30 seconds. Is it 88? Okay. I'll have to double check that. I'm bad at years, especially for movies. We'll make this out of quartzite. And ramp. There's just a lot of quartzite in dangerous places. It's 4 minutes delay. When I first started streaming on Twitch, anybody who wasn't a Twitch partner, by default, had 2 minutes delay minimum. So, you guys got it pretty good now. As bad as it can be when you're first starting out. Once you kind of get past that. Like, it's gotten so much better. Oh yeah, no, it used to be borderline unusable, Axon. Tastes like your kind of bad 1980s movie. It's perfect. The last, like, 30 minutes of that movie take place in a motel. Like, they just booked a motel, and they're, like, running up and down the hallways with guns, and there's a few people in the background that I, like, don't think knew they were in a movie. That are just kind of like, what? The fuck? It's great. Best part is, it's written, directed, and starring. It's one of those movies, right? And the main character, Alexander Hakamoto, that dude still directs the occasional TV show and has probably directed some things you've seen. It's worth looking into him because the reason he made that movie was he wanted to be the American Bruce Lee. Didn't work out so well. Is this Blazing Saddles? No, much less well known. Everybody knows about Blazing Saddles. Blazing Saddles is a classic, but no, I'm talking about Hawkeye. And also, the full movie's on YouTube, by the way. You can just watch the whole thing on YouTube. I'll grab y'all's a link. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna show you my favorite scene from the movie. Just give me 2 seconds. Just this scene gives you a perfectly good example of what to expect from this movie, okay? Fair use, I'm telling you, this is transformative, okay? Please be noted that this scene contains some scenes of violence. Bank heist. Soundtrack's great, though. I don't think there's anything in this cup.
So what do we got going down?
Well, looks like we got 5 or 6 guys in there with hostages.
Son of a gun, right here in Las Vegas.
That's why we called in the team.
Another Monday. Come on, O'Brien. Well, looky here. Stop my old friend, the Catwoman from Las Cruces, New Mexico. Don't know what he's doing here in my town, Las
So, for reference, they're like setting her up to be the bad guy of the next movie
Vegas.
throughout this entire film.
I want a helicopter for me and my boys out of here and into Mexico.
She wants a helicopter.
We don't have a helicopter.
We don't have a helicopter.
Don't shit me, Hakamoto.
Darling, now you don't want to piss me off, because if you do, I'm going to have to enforce my duty.
What the fuck is that?
That's to blow you away, asshole.
Don't piss me off.
Now, what'd you go and do a stupid thing like that for? Now you got me mad.
Where the hell are you going?
Hey, your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, mostly the gentlemen. This is Alexander Hakamoto, Las Vegas Police Department. I'd like you all to put your arms down and come with me safely. Thank you very much. All right, I'm going to count to 3. 1, 2, 3.
Like, what in the hell? I think they also shot some of the hostages, to be clear.
We do this every time. Hakamoto,
It's
I'm gonna get you.
horrendous, but it's also great. One of these days, I just need to stream this whole movie. But the problem is around around there somewhere, there's random boobies. So, might not be. Also, Dwarf Fortress is still running. I didn't pause it. There is random surprise tits around halfway through the movie, which is kind of frowned upon in the Twitch sector. I should just link it.
Now I come back and test for this.
It's a horrible movie. What's even better is when I first found that movie and I was talking to a friend of mine about it, he mentioned it to his older brother who's like, I remember seeing that. Like seeing ads for it, which is kind of amazing. Twitcher 3 tonight? I mean, digi boobies are fine, but actual people boobies. Because, you know, the 80s really, really liked just having, like, I don't know, a sexy scene for the sake of it. So that movie has, like, your stereotypical bad guy on a bed with, like, 4 women for no reason towards the end of it. You remember the duck boobs just like out of nowhere? Especially in Howard the Duck? Yeah, that's a good example of no apparent reason tits. Because, you know, sex appeal and all, right? I never actually saw Howard the Duck. I'm familiar with it, but I never actually saw it. We're getting random job cancels because dwarves are trying to build where there's waves, and when the wave hits, they break. That movie, Axon? Or Howard the Duck? Because Howard the Duck is a nightmare that I've never seen. 55 minutes in. I like how you're like time stamping it. You know, I could just make a version or edit a version of that movie that has like smiley faces. Or like, you could put like peach emojis or something. I'm sure I could stream that whole movie. As long as I have my face cam over it, we'd be totally fine. Are we talking about Howard the Duck Silver Tongue or Hawkeye right now? We might be talking about Hawkeye. And to think of Fritz the Cat. Yeah, I mean, they make movies like that now. It's called Cats. That's one of those nightmare movies that no one should actually go see. Why'd the dwarves claim the bedrooms that don't have any furniture or doors? But I got all these nice, fully furnished bedrooms on the other side of the hall. Nobody claimed them. Yeah, that's probably what we'll do. Or I could put my Scully heart over the rooms. I mean, there's lots of good movies that are just kind of extreme. There's also good TV shows that are kind of extreme. Anybody here watch Altered Carbon on Netflix? Because goddamn. Also, that's getting a second season, which is one of the reasons why I bring it up. Looking forward to that. It's like Nudity, the TV show. Not a good show to watch on a bus. It really was. It was a great show. Kind of petered out towards the middle of it, but picked back up just in time for the end, so it redeemed itself, in my opinion. But there was a couple rough episodes in the middle that were a little... But for a 10-part series, like, it was good. Especially that ending. I kind of want to rewatch it. I might. It's a good show if you want to assert dominance. I'm not certain that's something I ever want to do on a bus. I think I've had too much coffee today. I need to take a piss. I'll be right back. All right. We're back. It's simply a cyberpunk show. We have way too few of those. Here's the thing. There's way too much cyberpunk in video games. Way too much cyberpunk in books. But there isn't enough cyberpunk in TV. It's like the one medium that cyberpunk is not delivered in enough. I'm making actual Shadowrun movies and TV shows? Yes. I would watch a Shadowrun series on Netflix. Like if I would really like a 6-part series, like a nicely paced 6-part series based on Shadowrun. I would love that. That would be fantastic, actually. I love how I always know exactly who the one depressed dwarf is every single time I see him. Come on, dwarves, you can do it. Trying really hard to build this. Pets in DF can have a tick? Is that an adventure mode thing? I've never seen that before. Is your dwarf still alive? I think so. Maybe not, actually. Yeah, I think you were one of the drowners. Let's find out. Okay. That or you never had a dwarf in this fort. So apparently I got 2 dwarves that need to be engraved. Unless you are on here and I just flew past you. Yeah, it looks like you never had one. Heads up, chat. Investments are open. Yeah, I think that actually, I think your dwarf is still alive if you were the mayor, but you were in the previous fort. You were in the volcano fort, yeah? Here, you can be a new mayor. Within last season, she felt empathy while being cried on by an unhappy citizen. 84 years old, born on the 26th of Opal, near 322, is very rarely sick, and she is very weak and very flimsy. She is tall and bellarded by great hanging sacks of fat. Her hair is clean shaven, and her ears are flattened. Her pink skin is slightly wrinkled, and her hair is copper with a touch of gray, and her eyes are jade. Huh. I've never seen that before. That's interesting, Bamboozle. She personally believes that the mastery of skill is one of the highest pursuits, and she is repelled by the idea of honesty and lies without compunction, and holds nature to be of the greater value than most aspects of civilization. Actually, you know what? I know what happened. This was your dwarf. As I remember this. This was your dwarf, Mute. But we had a alternate dimension where a bunch of dwarves died, and the game mysteriously crashed, and then I mysteriously restarted it to attempt the same thing again without a bunch of dwarves mysteriously dying. She becomes completely hopeless in stressful situations. She desires little for herself in the way of possessions, and she has a strong tendency towards privacy. She dislikes abstract discussions and would much rather focus on practical examples. Yeah, so this is your dwarf. Your dwarf's alive and well. Because, you know, mysterious breaks in the time continuum happen sometimes in Dwarf Fortress. No, you are not. I saw you amongst the coffins. Would you like another dwarf animal? I want to say you were one of the first to drown. Lots of shows fall apart when they need to end because writing endings is difficult. Game of Thrones to this day still has some of the best character building I've ever seen, but easily some of the worst ending content I've ever seen. This is indeed a much better timeline. Yeah, I agree. We'll probably make it. Yeah, but The Simpsons is a soap opera. It's a cartoon soap opera. I never got into The Simpsons, so I don't know. So they can construct successfully if they get it in between the waves. But the second the wave hits, it cancels. Smithy Mall? Do I actually have any? I thought I had a weapons. Yeah, I do. Yeah, sure, you can be our weaponsmith. Smithy Mall. Be merry! Within the last season, he was delighted remembering watching performance, but was annoyed after having a drink without a goblet, cup, or mug. He was uneasy after seeing a dead body, but satisfied at work. New fork due to inebriation. 101 years old. Born on the 13th of Moonstone in the year 305. His long sideburns are braided and his very long mustache is arranged in double braids. His very long beard is arranged in double braids and his hair is clean shaven. His nose is upturned and his prominent chin. He has a prominent chin and his ears are short. I really need to watch Expanse. I mean, you've always been able to shoot Cyberpunk on location, though. He personally thinks of friendship is important and dreams of creating a great work of art in this dream was realized. He likes brimstone, aluminum, morganite, crossbows, and giant snowy owls for their coloration and the sight of the mirthful mother, and when possible prefers to consume sea nettle jellyfish, one-humped camel cheese and prickleberries, rice beer and donkey's milk, and dwarven sugar. Absolutely hates leeches. He is prone to strong feelings of lust and forms only fleeting and rare emotional bonds with others. Likes one-night stands. Has killed a lot of things. I think that you're a part-time hunter. You're very attached to your crossbow. You do have a wife who's a legendary woodcutter. You have some acquaintances, but that's about it. Oh shit, I just realized I forgot to turn down the desktop audio after showing the movie scene. It left Netflix? What? Last I heard, everybody was super happy that The Expanse was on Netflix, and now they're no longer on Netflix? This is news to me. What's it on now? Oh, right. No, duh. Okay. For some, I got confused. Yes, you're right. Okay, so I have Amazon Prime Video, but I've never actually watched anything on there. I've had it for years. Never watched a single thing on there. I've opened it up a couple times and like browsed around, but I always end up closing it and end up watching Netflix. Everybody has a ton of cousins mute. It's Dwarf Fortress. Okay, we should be able to get that done. Let's see. Yes, so this will be wagon travelable, in theory. If we can get this wide enough. Speaking of caravans, a human caravan has arrived. The tall folk are here to trade things with us. I don't know what to sell them, though. You know what? I'm gonna do this. Copper ball. Or just spiked copper ball. Let's just pump out 20 real quick. Meanwhile, Animal is meditating on death. You seem like a cheery individual. I think that's metal crafting. It's awful to focus on 2 tabs. Do you only have 1 monitor? As I'm focusing on more than 2 tabs. I'm keeping an eye on Discord, keeping an eye on my email, keeping an eye on Twitter, keeping an eye on all my stats, chat, Twitch, making sure I'm not dropping frames, my volume levels, my whole mixer, and playing the video game, and talking. I got lots of things I gotta keep track of. Got it once using DFHack. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by logging quotas. Need you to start working on them balls. Got a few people smelting tetrahedrite, right? I mean, yes, that's something you could do. Looks like Mute just got reelected. I'm gonna sell them furniture, actually. Let's sell them the cabinets. So I got a lot of these that I don't really need. Vote Mute 437. Is that the year? Yeah. I really wish that the whole election process for the dwarves was a little bit more obvious. Like, I'd love to see them all gather somewhere and vote. You must be, yeah. I mean, you do lie like crazy. We can give we can sell the humans our good craft dwarfship in the form of furniture. I don't really have many thrones. How about tables? Yeah, I don't really have many tables. It's fine. We'll keep those. Different streaming services, you're wondering if it'll take over. You'd love a Shadowrun anime? I don't know. I don't watch a lot of anime. Mostly my broker just went into a mood. Mostly because my ex used to watch a lot of anime and was very obsessed with anime. So for me, a lot of anime just reminds me of my ex. So I tend to avoid it. But I do, of course, have some anime that I really like. Also, our broker is a metalsmith and has already begun a mysterious construction. Grab copper and quartzite. Ooh. Any bets on what this mayor makes, chat? I'm not gonna quote you on that, but all right. Mute. The tragedy is that it touched some good stuff now. Giant serrated disc. That would be really cool, actually. And then we just need an artifact mechanism, and we'd have an unstoppable trap. Actually, I have a cage with a horse in it. No idea why I have a cage with a horse in it. So, we'll sell them a horse. I don't know, of course Ghost in the Shell is cyberpunk. It's one of the original cyberpunks. I don't know. I avoid a lot of anime these days. I used to watch quite a bit of anime, but I don't know. Well, it's not an IMO thing, it is. It's one of the pioneers of the subgenre. Okay. How do I want to do this? Out of shale. We'll use quartzite then. I need to start making blocks again, I think. Am I making blocks right now? Not really. Block. Rock. Let's queue up a bunch. I mean, the thing with cartoons is you're not limited as much by visual budget, right? Cartoons often age better than live action stuff. You know what I would really like? And this is just because I'm a fanboy, chat. I would really, really, really like a 10-part Netflix series based on Battletech. But I want the Harebrained Schemes guys to write it. English, the broker, has created San Raven Bathsith, Ririth Shashir, a jagged copper lowboot, and offers it to the Board of Defenders. Hey, you could do worse, Axion. Could do worse. We'll probably just put it on a pedestal next to the military, wherever I put the military. Basic value is 5760. Not very valuable. Jagged copper lowboot. All craft worship is of the highest quality. It is encircled with bands of round quartzite cabochons, and this item has an image of Lashgulfs, the dwarf, and dwarves in copper. Nish Lashgulfs is surrounded by the dwarves. The artwork relates to the ascension of the dwarf Nish to the position of queen of the relic of scouring in the year 3. But where would you do it? I don't know. I'm not too picky. How do I close off your fort in case of a raid? Pull a lever. Lock some doors. But we won't get raided. Fort's too small. So. But soon it's going to be pull the lever and lock the drawbridges, because this up here is eventually going to become a very exciting thing. Although we'll still be vulnerable to flying creatures, like, so that could still be scary, but nothing's stopping me from putting hatch covers in. That's complicated, Asheram. And I don't want an anime, I want a live action. To be clear, don't want an anime. Although I would take an animated series. There is Battletech the anime, like there was a Saturday morning Battletech cartoon, but we don't talk about that. Let's make it out of copper. We don't talk about it. I want a live action Netflix like 6-part series. It's just like people who really like Avatar: The Last Airbender don't talk about the live action movie. They don't talk about the Battletech TV shows. Hence why I said Saturday morning cartoon, my dude. I'm one of those weirdos that won't say anime unless it's made in Japan. Again, cartoon. For me, the difference between an anime and a cartoon, cartoons are animation produced in the West. Anime is animation produced in Japan and Asia. So, not an anime. It's a very simple concept. I keep reading that as Metal Gear, Ashram. They should also just make a Metal Gear movie. Although, no good people would take part in it at this point. Never seen Wakfu. Wakfu sounds like a sound effect that you'd hear when someone gets hit with something. Thwack! Sure. I mean, It's Western animation. But yes, they do ape the anime style. But plenty of Western created products ape styles from other cultures. That's quite common. Let's also bring some of those spiked copper balls that we've been working on up here. That animal's now working on. If any of them are actually done. Nope, they aren't. You have a good night, animal. See you later, dude. Thanks for hanging out. All right, where the heck's my broker at? Supposed to be trading at the depot. He's on his way, I guess. There we go. I'm probably just gonna see if they have any books. Although I do want that one cloth bin. It's got hemp and rope reed. I had somebody die earlier because they wanted rope reed cloth. Ooh, anvils. You should take photos of them and post them on my Beer Talk Discord. They're welcome. Even though it's called Beer Talk. I flew past the bottom. I'm used to having longer lists. Cool. Handful of codexes. So buy some parchment sheets, why not? No reason to not. Buy some cheese. I can afford a little bit more. Let's go down to there. Trade. Sweet. Alcoholic Discord. I'm alcohol enthusiasts. I'm holding down Shift D to see where the trade depot wagon is accessible. The wagon will be able to get up here. I'm bringing them all the way out to here. Out to there. Because this is super cool. Smithy Mall is making masterpiece spiked copper balls. How lovely. I'm way too proud of this fort. Like the fact that I was able to go into QPost chat today and be like, I drained an ocean and built a tower in it. And he goes, how exactly did you drain an ocean? I was like, yay, I did something that surprised people. Doing my best over here. Question is, do I encase this upper area and make the tower go up? I think the answer is probably yeah. You drink twice a week? Mm-hmm. I mean, my mother's constantly loud about how she's worried that I'm an alcoholic or becoming an alcoholic or will probably be an alcoholic later in life, and I will just maintain. I drink beer, yes. I can hold my beer. But I drink maybe twice a week, 3 times a week. Sometimes I'll drink 3 nights in a row, but it'll be like I have a beer. There was a point where I really needed to save money last summer and I didn't drink for 6 months. I was very sad. I wanted beer, but I didn't. How do you drain it? Into the caverns. I know it fucks the frame rate, so I could do it, but I don't really want to completely maul the frame rate while I'm doing construction. So we'll do it again once all this construction stuff is done. But, oh, where is it exactly? Right there, this. So this is the main draining thing. There's still a dead dwarf in there to this day that I don't think I'm ever going to be able to get rid of, unfortunately. There's actually a lot of dead dwarfs in there because I all got sucked down there eventually. So yeah, there's a lot of dead dwarves in there, which kind of sucks. But I could probably get them out of there if I tried. Anyway, then it goes down here. I also have an alternate mechanism down here, which is right below the base of it, which is just a whole lot of drains and bridges, which was right here. Which we very carefully dug out. And the dwarves just powered through while all of it drains down into here. Down into the once grassy, now extremely muddy caverns down here. With all the various drains coming down into them. And we just release the flood. This used to all be like flat ground, right? It's almost done draining. It's down to one layer in most cases. But it's almost finished draining. Alcoholic is when you keep your vodka in the freezer and have some for breakfast. I mean, that's extreme even for alcoholism. Crocodile. Yeah, let's sell him some weapons. I got plenty. Where does it drain to? The caverns, the edges of the caverns will drain water. Infinitely. So as long as they have open edges, the caverns, the water's draining out and out into the edge of the caverns off the map. Yeah. So it's exactly the same as draining it off the map, but way worse on your frame rate and a lot more fun. So I do it that way. Why is there a dwarf panicking over here? Oh no, Satan's Pitbull finally lost it. This is like my one really moody dwarf in the fort. Gonna leave his wife and only son. I've done basically everything that his mood wanted, but that's unfortunate. This poor dwarf. Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum. He really was upset. And there's not too much I can do about it. My bookkeeper, Flawborts, building us our very important construction right here, who is very upset about being out in the sunshine, but it's fine. He'll live. Kind of want to make the bridges of copper. Depends on your general tastes. Sometimes a little Bondi, very fine, smooth, not too woody. You see, I know my beer. I know a lot about beer, but when it comes to basically everything else, every other type of alcohol, unless it's vodka, I don't really know too much. I've made you proud. It only took me over a year to make you proud. I want to say Gabbro is the same color. By the way, to those of you who like the Dwarf Fort streams, you can really thank two people. King the Space Disco Fox, okay, and Hobo Cab, aka Stoned Hobo. Those two harassed me to play Dwarf Fort for the better part of a couple of years, till I finally agreed. which I was very cagey about for a really long time. Bow, 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 bow. This construction won't be complete until I've deconstructed this down here and sealed off this entrance right here. Which is the next plan, is seal off this entrance and this entrance over here and only have the one top entrance. Let's make silver hatch covers. 5. Silver hatch covers. You're a Philistine, so when it comes to wines, you do enjoy good. Couldn't tell you any proper bands, mostly because you're a cheapskate. I agree with that on wine. Bit of a cheapskate. And the only wine I really know a lot about would be, well, maybe not a lot about, but I know a lot about local stuff would be mead. I know quite a bit about local mead, but that's about it when it comes to wines. Yeah. That's like me saying, yeah, it's a few hours drive to another town. Although BC, we're quite spoiled. We've got some really good wineries in British Columbia. Yes, mead is a very different science. Still technically wine, though. But it's about as much wine as North American Saturday morning cartoons are anime. A friend of mine who I knew growing up, who is a diagnosed schizophrenic actually, works on a vineyard. Yeah, I always forget that people in like Austria are just a few hours drive away from France. That fucks with my brain. That just hurts my brain because it's like, I live in a country that's so big. You could drive in a straight line for 14 days, 12 hours a day and not make it across. Like the difference from me going from one end of Canada to the other is like the equivalent of somebody in France going 2/3 of the way across Russia. Maybe further even. I have a lot of subscribers. I had a lot more in January because Spitalier is a crazy person. But hi, Holgast. I have to pay bills somehow. We're just here talking about wine. Thought you could compete? What do you mean? I've been full-time on Twitch since 2016. I'm just not one of the really crazy streamers that you see all the time. I've just quietly been doing my thing in the corner. Like, I've been full-time for a while. Granted, 3 years ago, if I was suddenly single and living alone, I wouldn't have been able to live off of the money. The only reason I was able to do this full-time for so long is because my ex paid a portion of the rent, sometimes. But eventually, it got to a point where consistently I can pay rent. And I'm at that point now. I've been at that point for a while. I mean, of course, I'm nowhere near the size of some other channels that you guys see. Also, I did something sneaky here. So the waves here come up here, smash against the side of this tower, boost up into the air, and fill up this area with mist. So, I wonder if any of them have it. Loathing about being in the sunshine again. But I've seen a few of them get good moods for being near waterfalls just walking up here. Besides, streamers don't compete, Holgast. No streams compete. You work together. If we were competing, or when streams actually compete, nobody wins. Friendly competition? I mean, we can still have friendly competition. If you manage to wrangle away 3 or 4 viewers from me, that's like 10% of my audience some days. It's not like I have, 200 people watching every day. Sometimes I do pretty well, but... Like when Cupo turns the stream on, 10 people leave. I'll compete you! I mean... Not sure what that means, Cooler, but alright. Well, here's the thing, right? It's because I went from... Okay, so I went from being like a 30 concurrent viewer on roller coaster and theme park games in 2016 to being like a 100 concurrent viewer in 2017 through 2018 on primarily RimWorld-ish. 100, 120, maybe 200 on a good day. And then that kind of petered out after that game came out and everybody wanted to watch heavily modded and I never wanted to play heavily modded. And then since then I've been building up on Dwarf Fort again. And it's up and down, up and down. Although I think we're more stable now than we ever have been. So. Initially getting into DF was rough. It was really tough on the stream. But we worked through it. That was a rough summer, I'll say that. To the point where I thought my stream was going to die. And many people told me my stream was going to die, but I showed them. I know, this is a weird conversation. How are you doing, Colcast? Streaming platforms compete, sure. Streamers shouldn't. But not on stream, maybe Discord. I can't say almost anything about the biz side of streaming, but if you have any basic questions, I can answer some. And I'm fine with answering them on stream. But most things I'm under contract to not say. I got coffee. Cheers. Stream deaded but got better. I haven't dropped any frames since like the first 10 minutes. I always drop about 100 frames in the first like 20 minutes of my streams. I don't know why. But no, I've been doing the full-time content creation thing for a long time. I mean, most of the basic stuff can be found very easily via Google search. A lot of stuff that I can't talk about on any platform can be very easily found via Google search because people like to leak information. Especially if it's on the money side of things, I won't be able to say anything, period. Unless it's Patreon. Patreon helps me more. You like my stream, truly. Find me on Patreon. But, yeah, I'm under a lot of contracts to not say things. Like, I've talked about streaming to people for years, so talking about streaming isn't inherently a problem. Can't tell you. Can't tell you. Can't tell you any of that. Also, it's different for literally every streamer. I'll say this. I probably... Last year, I ran the numbers. And I was making approximately $4 an hour. But I work 7 days a week, 14 hours a day. So, at least that year I did. But as far as like more specific ratios, I can't tell you. Straight up, just can't tell you. Like, if you're asking, like, sub-splits and stuff like that, straight up, can't tell you. Also, I have about 11 revenue streams. Last year, I had 11. This year, I have 14 revenue streams. Little bits of money from all over the place. Again, under contract, I can't. What the fuck is that? Giant tick. Well, RIP Dwarf. Unless the dwarves are able to beat the crap out of it. Generally, when people ask me about the business of streaming like you're doing, Grundle, the best thing I can tell you is just go research it. Because genuinely, I'm under contract to not say a lot of things. So it's a very difficult conversation for me to have in public or private. It doesn't matter. I can't say. If I actually had a military, I'd tell them to go kill it, but I don't. Nope, giant tick is like bigger than a dwarf. I think it's leaving the map too. Yep. Maybe? And that and they also stealth. Okay, no, it didn't leave the map yet. But what I will say is I make less than a livable wage for where I live. I work a ton. I don't actually recommend people try and do this for a living. As much fun as I have and as... Oh, Kibbs has been found dead. As much fun as I have and as much as I love my work, I don't recommend people do it. It's very inconsistent work and not really the most worth it unless you're a very specific kind of person. You know, I do this because I wanted to work in radio. And I do this because I know that I can work for myself and make people's day a little bit better. Easily. And I do it more because I enjoy that portion of it. Yes, but you also don't live in one of the most expensive cities in the world. Cooler. So, it's a different living situation there, not really comparable. Also, I think your living expenses are lower than mine, too. There's my problem. Totally. And I'll be honest with you, I've been looking at pretty rural housing recently. Problem is I'm technically disabled, so I can't live anywhere that requires a car. So I need to live somewhere that has either a small town where I can walk anywhere or good public transit. But to give you an idea, I streamed every single day for a year. And in the first year, I made $300. Which wasn't nothing. I was stoked. I was so happy. It was a good first year. Depends on where you are in the US. You know, one of my stream team members lives in pretty rural Mississippi. No, you can't be full-time on Twitch unless you're in the top 0.1%. There was a statistic that came out recently. There was a statistic that came up pretty recently, right? And it was like, I want to say January of this year, 2.2 million unpartnered, unaffiliated accounts streamed on Twitch for less than 0 viewers. 250,000 accounts streamed on Twitch with less than 5 viewers. Those are affiliates and partners. And then it was like under 25 was something like 400,000. And then there was unaffiliated, partnered, and whatnot. And if you're over 50 viewers, you're in the 0.1%. We're at 58. We're already in the top 0.1% of Twitch. I know several partners that stream frequently that have, you know, less than 5 viewers. Take 6 weeks off, boom, done. That's all that it needs. That's all you need, really. It's one of the reasons I barely ever take time off, is because if I took, like, if I take 3 days off, I see a dip. 3 days. If I take 10 days off, it's, again, same thing. My apartment is $850 a month CAD. Which is why if I can get my Patreon up to $500 a month, I will be ecstatic, because that's basically where that needs to be. I would be ecstatic if I could get to that point. No, totally. But that's you with the 70K viewer there. I mean, there, like, how many channels actively have 1,000 plus views? Like, I like talking about this stuff, so if chat's cool with it, I'm totally down to just talk about streaming business stuff. As long as I'm not directly talking about money, I'm fine. I mean, right now, the most viewed channel on Twitch has 52,000 viewers. No idea who that even is. It's a Spanish stream, probably some YouTuber. 40,000 viewers on a German channel. And then it's like, you know, all your standard, like, lol Tyler 1 people, Dr. Disrespect, Soder Pappin, XQC, all them dumb fucks. Let's see. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. There's about 200 channels live right now that have over 2K viewers. And that's your group of people that are making a good living doing this. Gronk? Yeah. One of them even hit me once. It is true. It's a dark story, B-Lug, but that is a true story. Pro tip, don't get hit by trains. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what do you watch when I'm offline? I don't know. There's plenty of amazing channels. That's what I always say, you know, and to me, the most impressive thing about this is that I've been streaming for getting close to 7 years. Been doing this full time for about 3. But I put the same number of hours in the entire time. At a rave? Random. You have a good time at the rave. At least you've already got your pre-drinking done. But yeah, no, this, and still at the end of the day, people watch me. I mean, Holgast, I'll say this, right? Don't talk too much about sub counts. I do have a sub goal, yes. But don't think too much about that. That is not enough money to live off of. That plus my Patreon is not enough money to live off of. That'll cover my rent, maybe. And a little bit more. It's a ravey city. It's also a tiny city. Comparison. But maybe we'll see you later tonight. I don't know. I got at least another 5 hours left. 4 or 5 hours. But yeah, no, like I do have the sub goal, but if you're talking about just living off of subs, you need like 700-ish. No, I survive because of people who are very generous, the occasional sponsored event, and like tips, and then the occasional sponsored event combined with my Patreon. That's the only reason I survive. If I didn't get the sponsored stuff, and if I didn't get the occasional large tip from people that are very generous, I wouldn't be doing this. Also, about 40 of those subs are gifted and not renewing. So keep that in mind. I mean, for Canadian standards, it's pretty big, but I live close enough to enough American cities that pretty small. Are those humans still there? Autumn has come, by the way. Autumn has come. The time where the leaves go red. Also, Holgast, I'm being pretty candid, but if you'd caught me in a worse mood, I would have gotten really offended when you said, I thought you were a small streamer. Because, I'm, in the grand scheme of things, I'm very average, actually. It's like calling someone who is 6 foot short. Average height. My stream is very much average size. I'm not a huge streamer, but I'm certainly not a small stream. As a friend of mine put it, you have 10 people watching. It's a good comedy club or a small bar. 20 people watching. Man, you've sold the place out. 50 people watching. Shit, you got a crowd. 100 people watching. You're bigger than most comedians. Or a good-sized jazz bar. So be very careful when you use the term small streamer. You might offend somebody. Export of statues is prohibited. That's totally fine. Because nobody really likes to be called a small streamer, regardless of whether or not they're small. In comparison to some things, yeah, sure, I look small. You know, in comparison to... Let's just throw out a name here. In comparison to Co-Carnage, yeah, of course I'm a small streamer. But I'm making a living. I'm doing just fine. Excuse me. Cooler's a small streamer, yeah. Cooler has a few people watching. I've seen Cooler with like 10 people watching before. But sorry about all the inside baseball babbles. You're a tall streamer. That's impressive. Isn't as good as yesterday's. He wants crystal glass cabinet. Oh my god. I would just import that bag of holding. Like straight up, I would just buy that. What the heck is that? What is that bright red bee? Giant monarch butterfly. That is beautiful. You know, I think that we're getting the scary creatures now that I've built in this area. It's like some Dark Souls shit. Cool. I really wish I was a talented artist. Because if I was, I would totally draw a picture of this bridge going across the ocean with a giant butterfly landing on it and dwarves mining. That's such a cool image. It's such a fucking cool image. Let's jump down to someone who's smelting tetrahedrite. Or praying, that's fine. Alright, well I've got a bunch of extra anvils now, so I can steal Krug's bridge art? I don't steal anybody's anything. And it was yes. Wait, when did I say who cares about butterflies? What? I love butterflies. Butterflies are beautiful. I mean, I believe you. That sounds like something I would say, but I don't recall saying that. Yeah, don't plagiarize, kids. It's bad. Which is why when I started using this tile set, I actually asked Krug Smash if it was okay. I mean, I believe you. I don't know why I would say that, but... What should I put along the edge of this? I could put statues up. Do I wall this off, chat? That's the question. This platform, do I wall it off or do I leave it just open? We could go either way with that. Both. I mean, I could do both. Think about having or building another tower in the ocean and having this go this way. Murder holes. There's not going to be any combat on this, ideally. This is not an area that I want to have combat happen on. This is just to bring... This is like our gate, basically. The murder hole is going to be under the ocean. We're going to have a pit. A bloody filled pit. Filled with murky salt water. Let's get that done. And then we can pull a single lever and all of these bridges are just going to collapse and vanish. Oh, I need refined coal. That's why nothing's getting done. They need a new job of that. That's fine. In order to do that, they need to chop down some trees, so get that started. I do still have my woodcutters. But yeah, no, this is not going to be a defensive structure. This is purely an entryway. You know what we could do? We could do this. Cross there. Need that quartzite. And I'll fill those in with gem windows. We'll need to put bits of floor on the ground though. Like this. Maybe not out of wood. Let's just say gabbro. And fill those in with gem windows. Why are they suspending? Because they don't have the material that they need? It's fine. Or because waves are hitting what they're trying to hit? They need coal. We don't need charcoal right now. But nothing important is actually getting suspended. We need trees. I need to chop down trees so that they can make charcoal. Actually. There we go. And then this can also be made out of copper. So you have the quartzite bridges and the copper bridges, which are both destructible. It's a very lurky day today. Today's super chill for some reason. Thank you though to everybody who's hanging out. It's great to have all of you. What kind of gems do I have? None. All right, let's get some gems cut. I don't really have a gems stockpile, do I? Well, I haven't really hit that many gems now that I think about it. Cheers for Lurks, King of Kings. Caravan has arrived. We could act... No, we can't. I was gonna say we could almost trade with them up there. Let's bring trap components. Yeah, we missed a lot of auto hosts at the start of today's stream. But you know, lurky days happen sometimes. It's just part of the job. But yeah, so that's where the Dwarven caravan comes from. They like to roll right past the corpse pile, but eventually they're gonna roll right up here. Maybe I'll build a road or something. And then they'll pop up here and then go all the way along here and trade up there. Still waiting. Do love just those giant monarch butterflies. That is super cool. Did they bring an outpost liaison? Oh, yep, they did. Kodal, I am your liaison from the mountain homes. Let's discuss your situation. There is much to share. Information has been added to your civilization world info. What requests do you have of our merchants? I actually don't know at this point. Maybe iron? Bring some iron bars? Or, steel? Let's see. Steel and... Do you not have iron as an option? I see pig iron. Where's iron? Do I not have iron? That's a little weird. I'll ask for steel and iron anvils. I had pig iron. That's weird. Bring some instruments. Cool. Well, I didn't see it, so it's too late now. I look forward to our meeting next year. Our fortunes rise and fall together. Of course they do. While we wait for that other bin to be brought. Should also request the trader at the depot. Sweet, one of those is done. Still finishing up those rock pots. Haven't started those leather bags yet. Still shearing animals, good to see. Actually, I'm probably doing pretty well for yarn these days. A decent amount of various threads. Oh, cloth. That's what I'm talking about, alpaca wool cloth. Good stuff. Still waiting on my dwarves. A lot of people still playing a big ol' action RPG. Kind of surprised. I just slowly watched the reviews go down to mixed and figured people were having problems with endgame, but I guess it's still people just complaining about servers. Oh shit, the bridge got canceled. That sucks. That caused that to get canceled. Probably, Dwarves are unable to complete the bridge. I wonder why. I wonder why they were unable to complete the bridge. Bizarre. Apparently my broker is smelting tetrahedrite, which means we must have actually started getting some charcoal. We have, that's good. Which means I've got more floor hatches that I can place over here. Probably. It's probably something interrupted them. I mean, we've started getting good biome spawning creatures. There's the giant monarch butterflies and then the elk birds, but the elk birds are underground. Elk birds are indeed underground. Very, very, very deep underground. And we've had a fish cleaner giving birth to a girl. Yeah, look at how they group up in areas now when they're hanging out. Actually, like, kind of lost a few dwarves' sanity because I keep sending them all out to go construct stuff in the sunlight, which they're not super fond of. The point where I should almost just let them sit underground for a bit. You dwarves have kind of lost it. It is a cool addition. I really like it. Like, forces friendships. Like, this is a large area, but they're all, like, in the middle there. It forces them to make friends, in theory. Whoopsies. That was my computer, not yours. Wait, what? Huh. This screen has mouse support. The more you know. Fascinating. I'll admit today is one of the... Got canceled again? Today is one of those days where I get kind of sad that I don't have the lurker hello anymore. I missed that feature of this stream already. Let's trade. Giant copper ball. And then also the short swords and hammers and the maces and other various random weapons that we have. Thanks, little Joe. All right, let's trade for some codexes. Some named, some not. As well as those sheets. Buy more books. So brought a bunch of, you know, kind of interesting stuff. Also some kind of not interesting stuff. Yeah, I have no idea, Axon. Kind of wish I did, but... Just buying random armor and stuff so I don't need to worry about making it myself. Or alternatively, melt it down. Yeah, no, exactly. That's why I always buy them. Same with cheese. Because dwarves like learning about things, and books are a pain in the ass to make. And they get to passively learn different things, or learn about things. It doesn't really improve the dwarves, but they like a lot of, or some dwarves don't, but most dwarves enjoy reading a book and learning. I'm asking for too much. There we go. All right, let's queue up copper, sword, 20, silver, warhammer, 20. That's gonna be our military's weapons. Mute doodled the butterfly. Unfortunately, libraries are important. Yeah, things like leather. The reason I buy leather is sometimes dwarves want a specific type of cloth or leather that I can't easily get for an artifact. So it's better to just pre-make a bunch of them. That's all. Oh, is that bridge canceled again? Yep. Nope, it hasn't. Still there now. Saltwater embark. The lake is a good biome, so now that we're building on top of it, we're getting giant butterflies spawning. Yeah, it's been quite lovely so far. That and we drained the ocean enough to be able to, we drained the ocean enough to be able to build a tower in the middle of it. Cancel the shale. but I want the rest of those gems cut. I didn't show it. Yeah. There are some small aquifers around the edge of it, but it's just a varied aquifer in this biome up here. Is one of 3. Because the map itself is this, right? Bottom area where we started didn't have an aquifer. This top area does, though. Lake itself, I don't think has an aquifer. Parts of it might. But we built a tower in the middle of it, which is more intense than... It's just the default starting map, which is more intense than actually digging through an aquifer. And we've built this bridge across it, and I'm working on drawbridges to seal off in the case of attacks. Well, I mean, the new aquifers aren't too bad. You can just kind of dig through them without much effort. So, it's really not that bad, Tony. Now, this is primarily just kind of a fun experiment, because I wanted to see if I could flood an ocean enough to be able to do this. And turns out I am. So why can't you build that there? I think I need to deconstruct one of the statues. Giant tick is fighting. Someone's probably dead. That or maybe the... Oh, I see. Yeah, they killed it. The traders killed the giant tick. So shoutouts to the traders for the assistance. Probably a good thing. Yeah, now there's, in the current version of the game, Tony, there's 3 kinds of aquifers. There's light aquifers, varied aquifers, and heavy aquifers. Heavy aquifers are the old aquifers, which are the kind of super overpowered aquifers. Then there's the light aquifers, which you are so weak that you could empty them out with a bucket and never really have to worry. Then there, although you should probably still put a wall up so you don't get mud everywhere. And then there's varied aquifers, which are somewhere in the middle and change depending on where you are on the map. So yeah, they're a lot more realistic now. They were kind of nuts before. We just got to get that middle trapdoor done. And this right here will be our actual entrance to the fort. Once we get this thing done. And this guy done. Which we're working on. Slowly. But yeah, no, all those changes came in with the villains update. So it's been a long time coming, and frankly, it's about time. Yeah, I thought, wait, is the date was supposed to be last week? That's weird. Yeah, because the Epic Store still doesn't support your currency, right, Coda? I mean, to be fair, you'll be getting a much better game when it does release. When were they supposed to launch? I'm looking. On a Tuesday. They will be launching on a Tuesday. They're not specific as to which Tuesday. That's a little silly, but... Yeah, they've canceled that bridge again. It's try another material. I mean, it's clearly not last week, and it's clearly not this week, so I would assume next week on the 25th. Same. Same. Because I did buy it. That was maybe one of my biggest disappointments that year. I'm not gonna lie. Nope, you can't. I mean, on the bright side, we did get a good amount of time out of it. I had fun playing it with you, King. Really? Rain puts me to sleep. Animal, welcome back, though. You can help me today, because today's a chill day, seems like. It's one of those quiet days. There we go. That seems to be working now. I mean, I streamed about 40 hours of that game, and the game was $30, so just by a dollar to hour ratio, I did get my time out of it. But, man, was nobody ever interested in watching that. How is it related? I don't know. It's a good question. It's a mighty damn good question that I do not have an answer for. So, Cooler and King and Animal, how proud of me would you be if I dropped an elven caravan into the ocean? Fair enough. Is it screaming, Sean? Really loudly? Animal? Because that's how you know it's truly heavy rain, is when they're screaming, Sean! Hello, Anonymous.
I'm not even sure about that.
Oopsies. Accidentally unmuted my Bellinair Lurk strum. As if I dropped them in a volcano. True. But building... You need... Okay. In order to build in a volcano, you need a lot of water pumps. And you need to pour the water into the volcano. Maybe doable? I swear you can hear a distant shot. Heavy rain memes. They never get old. I don't know. I love super heavy rain. Loud rain is my ASMR, I'm telling you. The most beautiful sound you can make. Chat, what's your favorite sound? Not like music or composed sound, but what's your favorite nature sound? Like sound that just happens outside. I mean, okay, traffic or trains could be counted, but like favorite man-made or human-made / natural sound. Oh, you're supposed to go hiking tonight? Wait, why tonight? Why would you hike at night? Because for me, like, my favorite sound is probably rain. Second favorite sound is probably train. But I like trains because I grew up. Or a tarp. I hate the sound of rain on a tarp because it means that I have about 2 hours left before my tent starts leaking. You don't like being out in the rain? I don't mind it if I have an umbrella. I actually quite like being out in the rain. There's few things better than being outside in the rain in a forest with a flask of malt liquor. Or like a flask of beer or something. Few feelings better in this world. Yeah, I guess it must have just been a problem with the quartzites they were trying to get. The sound of a Bob Ross paintbrush. Yeah, I don't like listening to traffic. Growing up in the country, I like trains. I like listening to the very distant sound of a meh, meh of trains. That I really, really like. Okay, so we got mechanisms over there. And we got mechanisms over there. Sweet, so those two are hooked up. I mean, because of course the devil being in something is bad, so you gotta beat the devil out of it, obviously. Question though, Animal, were you into Bob Ross before or after he went viral on Twitch? After? Okay. Because I remember my grandmother, whenever I wanted, because I never had TV at home, and this is pretty common knowledge if you watch my streams. But I did watch TV at my grandmother's house. I'd go over to my grandmother's house about 3 or 4 times a year. And I remember in the early 2000s, she wouldn't let us watch cartoons until we'd watch an episode of Bob Ross. Because there was a channel that she really liked. I can't remember. I think it might have been PBS, actually. That would show 2 back-to-back episodes of Bob Ross every morning at 11. Weekday mornings at 11. 2 back-to-back episodes of Bob Ross. And it was her favorite show. And she would make us sit there and watch Bob Ross. And we thought it was the most boring, uninteresting thing in the world. Like, you know, my older sister's like 10 and I'm like 7. We wanted to watch our cartoons or play video games because she had a Nintendo, which was the coolest thing ever. And she would make us watch Bob Ross. We hated it. It was like the biggest goddamn nostalgia rush when Bob Ross exploded on Twitch. I was like, oh my god. I was a little twat when I was a child. This is awesome. If I told you, I mean, how hard would I judge you? If I told you that my anxiety gets so bad I can't fall asleep until I've had a nice hefty dose of sativa in my system frequently, how much would you judge me? Why would I judge you for using things that works for you to help you sleep? Like, I listen to Bob too! Burgunderf, sorry, that's perfect. That's a perfect use of caps, my friend. Why would I judge you? You know, I depend on substances to sleep. ASMR is significantly healthier. I mean, heck, right after I got dumped, I resorted to ASMR too. It's nice to feel like there's someone in the room. I don't need that anymore, luckily. Mostly because it was my first time living alone ever. I like Bob Ross on Twitch a lot more than watching just Bob Ross by itself. Watching Bob Ross by itself is great and all, but Bob Ross on Twitch is like, you have the chat and the memes along with it. It's perfect. Sound of the metro makes inside the train. I wonder how similar that is to SkyTrain over here. Because we have SkyTrain in Vancouver, which is sort of like a metro. It's an above ground train line. But when it hits downtown, it goes underground for like the last 5 stops. And large portions of the other newer lines are underground as well. Wonder how similar that is. So wait, why are you asking if we would judge you, Anonymous? I've had people tell me that I'm their ASMR. Oh no. Kibbs, the ghostly woodcrafter, has risen from the grave. And is haunting the coffins. I will judge certain people who get off to it. Those people I'll judge. But people who just listen to it to fall asleep, no. Like, if you're using it for the correct thing, I have no qualms with ASMR. ASMR is A-okay. But some people are super weird and creepy and fetishistic about it. That, I mean, I try not to kink shame, but some people are pretty weird in that directory. Also, I judge some people who produce ASMR with the intent of being weirdly sexual about it. I just keep that stuff off Twitch, guys. Not what the site's for. Cool. They're gonna get those bodies put away. 2020 is the year of kink shaming? No, it's the year of get your kinky shit off Twitch. I mean, if you want to go do a ASMR chatterbait stream, be my fucking guest. But don't do that shit on Twitch, come on. Also, no, slurping spaghetti isn't ASMR. Don't be weird about it. Cuckoo clocks. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could make a chocobo clock into a cuckoo clock. I can't stand the sound of clocks ticking. It makes me super uneasy. I mean, but can you spaghetti my tea? Animal? Okay, that side's done, which means I can now officially seal off this entrance. Which is cool. We're officially sealing off the entrance, chat. Because we have a new entrance. With the ability to lock it. Mom's spaghetti animal. Oh, really? Yeah, I don't know why. Mechanical clocks make me nervous. Like, really nervous. I can't quite put my finger on why. But they make me really nervous. They've just always made me nervous. And no, not because they sound like bombs or anything stupid like that. How do I feel about metronomes? Metronomes are completely different because I'm playing music along with them. I don't just let a metronome tick for no reason. Clocks just tick for the sake. I can probably stop smelting the tetrahedrite ore. How much ore do I have right now? How many bars, rather? Yeah, plenty. Cool. We're waiting for refined coal. Basically what they're saying is I need to just cancel all of my forging. Just put that whole industry on pause. For a little bit. Until we've made plenty of stuff. Charcoal. Also, I need a proper bar block stockpile. Just no stone, only bars. Of metal. You often fall asleep to D&D and other similar podcasts. I've learned that I really can't fall asleep watching D&D or any of that stuff. But there are a few specific YouTubers that will make me fall asleep. Like if I put on a Mandalore or a Matthew Matosis video. Matthew Matosis is somebody who I'll fall asleep to sometimes. The reason I will fall asleep to Matthew Matosis is he has these like he recently put up a 3-hour long commentary where he commentates, it's a scripted commentary of the entirety of Beautiful Joe. So if I want to, if I can't fall asleep and my anxiety is real bad, I'll just like watch that on my phone until I drop it on my face, and then I know I can fall asleep. Yeah, same. I pay too much attention to it. I need more like just a good monotone voice just narrating something slowly. They did it. They got it done finally. Excellent. We have it done, chat. It's finished. The project is complete. Fucking pog. We done did it. I mean, I still need to finish attaching the lever, but... Cool. We're hooked up to all of the right bridges. We can start taking down the rest of the fort. Have a good one, Animal. Thanks for coming back. Tuning back in for a bit. Really? Did you, like a drawing, like what kind of commission? Also, let's make sure that this will work. It should. Yes. It is cavern accessible. Wagon accessible. Awesome. Let's just get rid of those upper layer things first. Remove that. Drawing commission. Ah. Cool. Getting artwork commissioned for a character is fun. Cooler's done some of those for me in the past. You know, actually, this is totally gonna cause some injuries. So actually, let's cancel this and just say, do those two, please. And deconstruct those. Much safer. Instead, we're just going to drop some logs on some dwarves instead of a lot of dwarves. Winter is upon us. It is above us. I would say I never really had problems sleeping until I was living with my ex. And, well, no, until after she left. I mean, there was always the occasional night where, like, maybe I was sick or couldn't breathe properly. But I never had problems sleeping ever until she left. Really. Might sound weird, but it's true. And a friend of mine. Fair enough. That sounds like fun. Yeah, having your characters brought to life is awesome. It's always a great feeling. Well, there it goes. Oof. Okay. Mind got a little winded. Seems to be fine. You can walk it off. No blood. No, I want to remove construction, which is N. Let's get all of this removed. And let's also patch up this hole. Doesn't matter what we use, but let's use quartzite blocks. Feels like the right material to use. This fort just got badass IMO. Ah, yeah, he's fine. I'll walk it off. Hello, KSKS. Or Kiss Kiss, I'm not sure. It depends. How much experience with this type of game do you have, Kiss Kiss? Like, have you played any traditional roguelikes before? Are you familiar with ASCII games, looking at ASCII games? What would you say is the most complicated game you've learned in the past? It's kind of a difficult... It really depends on your experience with games that have a high learning curve, I guess. Like, you know, if you've played EVE Online in the past, yeah, you're fine. If you've played traditional roguelikes, you're fine. If you haven't touched anything of this sort, it's going to take you a little bit. Have you played RimWorld, No Moria, or other games that are similar to it? But it absolutely is captivating, and it's totally worth the learning curve. I don't think the learning curve is as bad as Anonymous just said, because Anonymous doesn't play this game. The memes are that it's the hardest game ever to learn ever made. I completely disagree with that sentiment. It's difficult, but it's not the hardest game ever made by any stretch. Played Brogue? I mean, okay, so if you're used to looking at ASCII games, that makes things a lot easier. The hardest part of... You don't play this game, Anonymous, come on. The hardest part about this game is learning what your options are and how to attain those options. Once you know that bit, it's really not difficult at all. There's a lot of assists, but I would recommend not using them. I'd recommend, if you do want to get into this game, either watching my video called How to in the How to DF command, ! How to DF, which will kind of teach you how to set it up without using Lazy Noob Pack. Or watch Krug Smash's Your First Fortress. Those are kind of like that's kind of the only tutorial I'll really recommend, the only video tutorial. There's a lot out there that are all out of date, and some are way too drawn out and recommend a lot of assists that, yes, make learning the game easier, but will teach you some really bad habits. I would recommend just installing the vanilla game and start playing if you're interested in learning it. It's certainly attainable, especially, you know, if you've played traditional roguelikes and you're used to looking at ASCII stuff. If you want a tile set, there's many grand tile sets out there that are fantastic. They don't like the rain, but at least they get to be near a waterfall. And you know, the game just pulled a lot of new content updates, and there's also plenty of great YouTube channels. I mean, if you just want to watch people play the game, yes, it does cover unzipping the game briefly. My YouTube channel is full of all of my VODs, as well as the occasional other thing. I also do little lore videos. So if you just want to watch somebody play the game straight from the start, you can see all my VODs there. But Krug Smash does like very well-written, almost story, or basically story content through Dwarf. Hey, Fileline, what's up? It's good to see you. Oh my god, we finally ran out of sheep to shear. It's been like 2 years. Yeah, exactly. The community for this game is extremely welcoming and very easygoing. If you ever need help, there's usually a couple of streams live that can probably answer your questions. So, DF is easy to learn if you have fun losing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't get salty if you die, because losing is fun, and that's a quote about the game for a reason. That losing is the part of the game. Yes, I love that clip so much, Cooley. And buy my cane recently? I mean, if my back gets any worse, maybe. Anonymous. No problem. Also, the DF Wiki is like your best friend. That is just a link to my favorite part of the DF Wiki, but on the DF Wiki there is a getting started guide which will walk you through the beginning of the game better than any tutorial can. The vanilla game comes with just ASCII, but there are several really popular ones that are easy to recommend if you want one. If you want this one that I'm using, I can give you a link to it, which is a customized version of Krug Smash's one. But vanilla comes with an ASCII tile set. Well, several versions of ASCII tile sets, actually. What was I doing? I was going to make a thing. Brew drinks. For 100 more drinks. I want to get rid of these blocks that didn't get used for anything. We'll have 2 skiing in the coming days. Ooh. I want to go skiing real bad. Like, real bad. I'm genuinely jealous of anybody who gets to go skiing frequently. No problem, KSKS. And you know, I'm live every day of the week except for Fridays. Although this week I'll actually be streaming on Friday. I will be streaming on a Steam page. Hey Stone, how you doing? I was a little bit worried you weren't going to tune in today after yesterday. No hard feels. Man, that poor dwarf just vomiting everywhere. Okay, maybe not frequently, but a couple times a year. How's that? We got the bridge done, which goes down through the ocean. Maybe every 3rd year. That would, I would love to just be able to go skiing occasionally, because I haven't been skiing in so long. Have I tried? Yeah, I used to ski all the time when I was younger. A couple times a year we'd go. Cultural differences, Stone. It's really all it is. Right, I can unpause this whole industry now. Right, why is making charcoal suspended on that one? And on that one? What? Bizarre. Rallies, hello. And Draconis as well. Have I flooded the fort? No, I haven't, but that scared the crap out of me. I built a bridge entrance, which we just sealed off the right and left old entries, and that's the entry to the fort now. Yeah, not in this timeline. Everybody's terrible at snowboarding. Initially. Or is your dwarf still alive? I'm pretty sure you drowned, but I can check. Thanks for the host, Draconis. Pretty sure you drowned. Yes, you drowned. Would you like a new dwarf, Rylance? Flood will flood though if Rylance does a cannonball. Do you have any preference on type of dwarf? Got lots of jobs, lots of openings. Or do you want me to just pick somebody at random? You have to give it another try. You're gonna try streaming it? Mind posting a screenshot of that? I'd like to see what that looks like, Cooler. My way or the highway dwarf? Stuck up my way or the highway dwarf? Huh. How to start the game first? There you go. One of those videos is how to turn the game on and start it up. My way or the highway? It's a very happy dwarf. Masterwork? Why should I care? Maybe this is what we're looking for. Never pass up a chance for a good fist fight. Is sloppy with her living space and is quite polite. Finds helping others emotionally rewarding. Okay, nope. And prefers that everyone live as harmoniously as possible. Has little interest in joking around and often acts with compassion. She is a friendly individual and she is slow to anger. She is likely to chews her lips when she's bored. She needs alcohol to get through the working day. Oh, this is Cooler's font. I like that font, actually. It's easy to read. I don't like her colors, though. Her colors are kind of hard to look at. Yeah, it is definitely default colors. Just make sure you extract it out of the zip file first, Fish. Otherwise you'll get an error. My way or the highway? I mean, I do that. I'm doing it right now. Felt loathing at being out in the sunshine. It's a very oddly specific request. This dwarf's killed 4 goblins. "103 years old, born on the 1st of Moonstone. Dreams of mastering a skill. Has great analytical abilities and good memory. She's almost never sick and tough. She is stingy with resources, refuses to expend any extra effort. She's very ambitious, always looking for a way to better her situation. She's quite comfortable with others that have a different appearance or culture, and she doesn't focus on material goods. She tends to ask others for help with difficult decisions. Doesn't mind wearing something a little special now and again. She likes to brawl, and she has, You know, this Stonecrafter might just go into the military. She is somewhat fearful in the face of imminent danger, never mind. She's occasionally overindulges. Well, maybe. You know what? Yeah, you're gonna start my military. You're a legendary something. Probably Stonecrafter. Yeah, I don't know. That's a really difficult request, Rallies. That one sounds good. All right. Not a short test. Although I am going to put you in the military. The tan dies. Yes. Absolutely. So that wall of text is like your character sheet. Every single creature in the world has one, although they might be hidden. Or any sentient creature in the world has one. But you can only see them if they are part of your fort, essentially. So if I hit enter here, the top chunk up here is their thoughts and skills. Then this particular dwarf, who's Rallies, has 7 children. And those are all of the gods that they worship, as well as all of their children and their names. Their age, which is the yellow text. The bright white text is a description of what they look like. And yes, this does affect dwarves. Certain dwarves won't like people that look differently or come from a different culture, i.e. some dwarves are racist, and won't like, let's just say, animal people or elves or humans being around. They'll get upset. If they like certain objects, they'll get better moods if they see that specific object. This dwarf doesn't feel anything after seeing a horse's dead body, which is a good thing, but felt wonder after communing with Melville, their god, and euphoric due to inebriation and delighted after watching performances. Some dwarves won't want to watch performances. Maybe they don't like poetry. If someone's telling poetry, they'll be uninterested. They won't be interested, or they don't feel anything. Or even worse, they can be annoyed or grouchy upon watching a performance. She personally strongly values tranquility and quiet, thinks friendship is important, so this dwarf will get upset if they don't have friends for a very long time. They think tranquility and quiet is important, so they'll want some off time. And doesn't respect a society that has settled into harmony without debate and strife. So essentially, if everything is perfectly peaceful, this dwarf will get bored. And this can all pile up to eventually cause the dwarf to go insane, if you let it sit long enough. Does that make sense? As well as, she is stingy with resources when working on projects. Okay, won't occasionally grab an extra log when making a craft thing and leave it somewhere. Like if it says they make a mess with their possessions, they'll just like leave clothing everywhere. It's so like if I go to the bedding area, bedrooms area, all of my dwarves have a bed, a cabinet, and a coffer, which is a chest. The coffer is for items that they own. Rings, bracelets, crowns, necklaces, scepters, whatever the fuck, toys. The cabinet is for extra clothing that they own. Dwarves like to own multiple pairs of clothing and enjoy it, and they also like changing their clothing, right? You don't see it, but they're all equipped with clothing, and they have a bed. If you want to be really fancy, you can give them an armor stand and a weapon rack as well. This particular dwarf over here is playing Make Believe. And this is a child, right? Kubok is wearing a bunch of relatively tattered clothing. We need to get clothing up and running. But is playing Make Believe. All their skills. Child does as it pleases. Their health. This dwarf's older brother is Kukra. Let's check in with Kukra. What are you wearing? Again, bunch of kind of worn out clothes. So soon my dwarves are going to start going insane because their clothing is wearing out. Should I back this Kickstarter, chat? Nudist fort, insane dwarf fort, you mean? They would not be too super pleased about being a bunch of nudists. I'm gonna get clothing started up. Doesn't matter what we make it out of. And a clother's shop. I'll make 2 clother's shops. I could also make copper clothing. We have a ton of copper. Copper leggings. Let's make 50 copper leggings and cap. Cop. 50. And there we go. Doesn't care one way or another about clothing. I wouldn't mind that. I think that would be a good addition, personally. Although I still just want them to be able to smoke. And have some dwarves that don't like being around people that are smoking. Alright, so we've got a possession. Who is it? It's a herbalist. What are you gonna go make? Going straight for craft dwarfs? Yep, claims a crafts dwarf shop. Any bets on what we're gonna get out of this mood? I'm glad that Cupo finally went and made more emotes and sub badges and all that. So I really like those. Maybe. If he has, I haven't seen it. Cooler. I mean, it doesn't even need to be tobacco specifically. It can be some made-up leaf that they smoke. But I love the idea of, like, preparing or growing something specific for the dwarves to smoke, making fancy pipes and all that. I don't know. I think it would be a fun gameplay loop. Some dwarves who have bad experience with smokers feel... Yep. Mm-hmm. You're very, very, very adamant about that. Nope, this is the version after it. 0.03. Why would I still be on 0.02? Notice how they're grouping in the temple right there? Smoke already is a mechanic in the game. Yeah, they can't see through it. But smoking dwarves wouldn't. Especially though, if smoking was like through a hookah type deal, you could probably construct chimneys to make sure all the smoke goes out. Ventilation systems, so it just goes straight up and is not a non-issue. I don't know, I have a hard time imagining dwarves being upset about smoking though. It's just such a dwarfy thing to me. Yeah. Yeah. Of course I put a lot of thought into it. It's the second most dwarfy thing. You're on fire. Man. Okay, what else do you still want? Leather, we have leather. Cloth, we have that. Trees, we got that. It's okay, we forgive you. So many ideas. What kind of game are you working on? Not cigarettes, pipes, please. Come on, man. I don't know. I, like many people, grew up watching Lord of the Rings and Snow White. And, remember all of the dwarves pulling out pipes. So when I think about dwarves, I think about three things. I think of Gimli and my axe. I think about dwarves drinking. And I think about pipes. Those are the three things when I think about when I think about dwarves. Also, you shall not pass and dig too deeply and too greedily, obviously. The hell do you want? If it's an uncut gem, we can go grab one by mining that out. Let's see. And then I have some people saying, oh, well, that's not kid-friendly, and Dwarf Fortress is kid-friendly. I assure you, Dwarf Fortress is most certainly not kid-friendly. The descriptions of graphic violence alone. What the hell do you want? Adra, what up? Oh, you want bones. Okay, we need to slaughter an animal. Let's slaughter some sheep. And a horse. I don't need a horse. I don't need no horse. Stuff is inspiring. I mean, Dwarf Fortress is systems driven, right? Yes, kid friendly. Well, we had a mother and child drown, more specifically. Mom threw her baby into the ocean accidentally, and then mom drowned trying to get baby out of ocean. Steam broke for you? It's Tuesday, right? Yeah, it's maintenance day. Yep, Steam's down for everybody. Today's the day that they do server maintenance. Okay, let's just wait. Copper chain leggings, which is clothing that dwarves will just wear. But yeah, no, somewhere between about 1 p.m. and about 5 p.m. on Tuesdays, Steam goes down. At least Pacific time. And complex stories emerge. What is inspiring? That's an odd way to form a question, but... You also gotta remember that Dwarf Fortress has been in development for such a long time. So I could see it super easy to, you know... Uh-oh. Where'd the dwarf go? Where'd our strange mood dwarf go? I it was a friggin' mini forge. I mean, some child is gonna have a blast with that mini forge. But yeah, no, program whatever game you want, really. But systems-driven games are cool. Mechanics-driven games are cool. And I've been told by developers in the past that it's a lot more fun to work on a game that is fun to play immediately. A lot of systems-driven games are fun immediately, even when they don't have any content. You know, like, Noita, even if you never actually see any of the content in that game, if all that you do is just run around and blow stuff up, it's so much fun. Systems sandboxes are amazing. That's why the sand games were so much fun back in the day. Finally, you begin your mysterious construction. What did you grab? So it's a craft workshop. Quartzite and gabbro boulders, tetrahedrite, stray sheep bone, rough purple spinels, copper bars, drathla leather, pigtail cloth, plumwood logs, rough purple spinels. That's a lot of stuff. It's gonna be an expensive one regardless. Dearie me. I don't see people say dearie me very often. Now I just sit here and look forward to when we actually get to lock the doors and say, no, you cannot come in. That's what I'm looking forward to now. We'll see you later, following. Thanks for swinging by again, and definitely give Dwarf Fortress another shot. It's not easy the first time. You'll get there eventually. And this is the thing that always... What just popped up? Why did Steam just like inform me that my friends list was unavailable out of nowhere? I didn't even open Steam. One thing that I like to say about Dwarf Fortress is one of the most common things that I see are people who are just sad that they didn't get into Dwarf Fortress sooner. I've encountered that a lot. Myself included. Genuinely just wish I got into Dwarf Fortress sooner. That's interesting. Most people are the opposite. I swear about as much online as I do in person. Ba-da-ba-da-bum-bum. Yeah, that's always a sad line. It's so true to reality, too. Cancels eat. Too depressed. Mood. Bow, 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 bow. I'm making a roof area to this. Just don't know how I'm going to get the dwarves up there yet. Working on that. Although the thing I should really be working on is a drowning chamber, and then we should unlimit the dwarf pop. Question is, how deep do I want to put it? I think around here would probably do it. Maybe not quite that long, though. Definitely not that wide. Oh shit. Thicut has created something useless. Thicut has created Kumo Stustamam, a quartzite crown, and offers it to the Board of Defenders. How kind of you with this very generous gift. What a glorious dwarven present. It's worth 66,000. It's quite valuable. It's a long one. Buckle up. This is a quartzite crown. All craft worship is of the highest quality. It is encrusted with oval, gabbro, cabochons, and cushioned tetrahedrite cabochons, and decorated with Drothla leather, and encircled with bands of rectangular quartzite cabochons. This object is adorned, of course, with hanging rings of purple spennel, and menaces with spikes of sheep bone, and copper, and pigtail, and purple spennel. On the item is an image of dwarves in plum wood. The dwarves are traveling. The artwork relates to the foundation of Joyousfell, the Pit of Waters, by the Board of Defenders of the Relic of Scouring in the early spring of 402. For me, there are certain words that are off limits that I don't say. Don't need to go into more details than that. And swearing is virtually meaningless. Most derogatory / vulgar terms to me are, as Cartman says, just words. And they are only as impactful as the people who give them meaning. Not the most popular opinion on that one, but hi, I'm wet. What's up? Also, calling them swears, I think, is silly. It's very much something that I referred to derogatory words as when I was a small child. Kind of grew out of that a little bit. Of course, certain words have certain gravity for certain people. I once had somebody say that they were going to stop watching my stream because I kept saying a specific word, which was fine. I toned it down for a bit. I think they stopped watching the stream anyway, though. Not too much I can do about that. Granted, there are certain words that I just won't say. Cunt. Ethergen. One of those words that never really bothered me. Mostly because I had an Australian friend growing up. Oh yeah, no, totally. That's one of the ones that I just won't say, fish. Period. See, if I can be called a dick, I can call somebody a cunt. It's also a very satisfying word. Rolls off the tongue nicely. So, I don't know. It's one of the ones that doesn't bother me. But generally, that's one of those ones that I'll use if I'm really angry with you. Like, if I'm saying that word, I'm pissed. Yeah, but the word moist isn't a cuss word. People who just like the word moist are just being silly. It's kind of like saying I don't like pineapple on pizza, and heresy to anybody who does. It's just one of those internet things. We gotta work on this for a little bit. Adrian's just like, I got the thing for this right here, way ahead of you guys. It's funny, actually. I personally believe that getting offended by things that people say is a surefire way to live a very long and stressful life. And of course, there are some people on the internet that go out of their way to damage and hurt people with words, but building up an immunity and just ignoring it is the best method of surviving a long and happy life. Some people don't like things that are moist. It's kind of a phobia for some people. So some people think of the word moist as relating to their phobias, which is, you know, kind of makes sense. Why people wouldn't like it. Any day over a dry one. Yeah, I mean, I think of angel food cake when I think of the word moist. I don't know if those two are quite related, but I as somebody who doesn't have either of those phobias, I don't know. With mold or rot? Yeah, that's true. But I do kind of think that the word moist is one of those kind of internet things more than anything. People who just get angry about the word for kind of no reason. Dead like me? Is that where that started? I don't know. I got nothing against the word moist. It just makes me think of good quality food, like a good chicken breast. Mwah. Like a nice moist chicken breast. Delicious. I wouldn't want it. A damp, the difference between damp and moist. Very different. Ah, the English language. You were raised in a culture where cussing was very normalized and used to live. Using derogatory language or insults, speaking casually is extremely common. Of course, it's still frowned upon. I mean, okay, so I was raised in a household where swearing is like the worst thing you can do. Right? I was raised in a pretty Christian household. And I remember the very first time I said fuck around my mother. I think I got slapped. I think she pulled the car over until I apologized and slapped me. And as I said, something was fucking stupid or something like that. And that day taught me the power of words and what I could do with my words. I could upset people. And there are certain words that have connotations and connections to things like racism, a lot of slurs, things that hurt specific groups of people. It's the reason I try to avoid using the R word or the word that starts with F and rhymes with maggot. N-word, won't say it, period. There's a lot of things to me that are completely off limits. But, you know, the vast majority of words that are just referencing bodily functions or parts of the human body, I can't see a problem with them. I genuinely can't. How the fuck you dare? You fucking bastard. You know, like, I can't find a problem with that. Squig, what up? Oh, shit. I need to update your command for your new name. 2 seconds. And yes, of course, in like a professional situation, I will avoid using them. But outside of that, there you go. Should be able to do it now. But go intercourse yourself doesn't roll off the tongue anywhere near as nicely. Right, decent, really? Interesting. I'm unfamiliar with the foodstuff comment. Sodomize yourself, yeah, that also works. But yeah, no, to me it's very much when you're just talking about bodily functions, it's the reasons why words like shit and piss don't even bounce off my head. Like, I don't even think about them. They're just in my vocabulary. Words like damn it. I remember being informed that, like, and this is because of my religious upbringing. I remember being informed that very bad things would happen to me if I said the word damn it. Very bad things would happen to me. All right, so there's an Etten outside. Okay. We're gonna put everybody underground. I'm gonna try and drop this Etten into the ocean. Okay? But we have to time this perfectly. I have no military yet, by the way. Also, kind of a surprisingly large number of depressed dwarves. And the reason for that is they've been out in the sun a whole bunch. They're all pissy. Which means we're going to need a prison soon. All right, Etten's coming up. He's going for a panicking Dwarf. Who dat? It's Argus! No! Oh, side tap, yoke. Okay, let's pull the lever. Come on, Etten. You two-headed giant. Hopefully they time this right. Has anybody been sent to pull the lever? Okay. You know, we might actually have this timed correctly. We might actually have this timed correctly. Just a named bronze bow. And the feral tombs. Is this just a common occurrence now? Fucking hell! That's the second fort in a row. Heck yeah, we're gonna drop you in the ocean. Oh, come on. We might have to just use the, okay. Come on, Bridges. Alright, well, let's forbid the passage. Did I forbid the middle one? I need to actually, like, assign a military. Well. I mean, that's basically what it is. I'm gonna take a toilet break. But at least we got it trapped up there. Time to raise the bridge? Potentially. Or, something else. I need to start training a military anyway. I'll be right back. So, did the Etten do anything exciting? Oh my god, why are they... Okay. Well, it hasn't killed the whole fort yet, has it? Killed a dwarf? Great! Ah. Eh. Well. Let's just pause the game. I do have a squad of 1. No, Fortress Guard went on strike. Yeah, kinda. Kinda. Alright, I mean, of course they're building destroyers, right? That's a good question. Why didn't he go down the stairs? Let's turn off job cancellations. I mean, I've got another thing I can block off. This lever. That'll close this bridge right here. Yeah, which will take it a little bit of time. Which it's still working on, in fact. Yep, there we go. Now we're actually safe. Okay, so what do we do? What do we do about you? I think I need to actually just get my military up and running, because that's what that's one of the plans for things that I wanted to do today. Let's turn off job cancellations. I mean, I've got another thing I can block off. This lever. That'll close this bridge right here. So let's make a nice shape and put the military in it. And assign a bunch of dwarves and let them train for a little. Unless, because I think the humans will show up before the dwarven traders, so we don't need to worry too much. So whenever the humans show up, or if my military gets trained up, whatever happens first. Although, except I should push this up to priority numero uno instead of not. I mean, he didn't pull the lever one frame too late. He pulled it more than one frame too late. Because apparently the second, because all of those bridges were supposed to be hooked up and one of them wasn't. So even if he'd pulled it one frame earlier, the Ent wouldn't have, or the, not Ent, Etten wouldn't have fallen into the water because that bridge wasn't hooked up for some reason. So, doesn't matter, really. Yeah, no, I've been aware of that for about 6 months. It's coming out on the 20-something. I'd like to play some of that. I really like Spin Tires. And the cook has been missing for a week. Sheesh, I wonder why. I wonder why. Couldn't tell you, frankly. I mean, the other one was just a giant. This one is an Etten. So this one has twice the brain. Theoretically, has twice the brain. Most of the dwarves should be wearing copper leggings now. Have I given it a look? I installed it. Does that count? I've got a lot of games right now that are all over that I need to be paying attention to. I mean, heck, I might take another look at Stone Shards soonish. I'm very busy with other games. It's on the list. And as of this morning, I have 2 sponsored things which are going to happen. I got one which is for Thursday, and then I'm going to do that again on Friday, although that won't be on my channel. That'll be on a Steam page. And then I have another one, which will probably be sometime next week. If only one of the heads was a necromancer. I wonder if Ettins can be a necromancer. I wonder. I doubt it. On Twitch during the stream thing, I can't stream to 2 channels at once, so no, I'd be breaking terms of service. I can't stream to my channel and a Steam channel, but I will post on Discord. But this is just to stream on a Steam page. Yeah, this will be our drowning tunnel. Hopefully there's enough ocean to fill this whole thing up, though. But this is streaming directly. Okay, so the one that Cringer did, they were restreaming him from his Twitch channel to the Steam page. That's restreaming. I'm going to be streaming directly. They're not restreaming me. It's very sticks and stones, but I won't be streaming on my channel. I'll just be streaming on their Steam page. I know it's like, it's very semantics, but that's the industry. Spring hath arrived. Of course I can, but I don't care. I'm getting paid hourly to do the damn thing. Quite frankly, I could get 0 promotion from it, and I'd be fine. But yes, I can indeed link my stream and tell people to go check out my channel and yada yada. I've been on some really big Steam pages when they launched. Like, I streamed Dawn of Man on their Steam page when that launched. I had like 14,000 concurrent viewers or something. I got 5 followers. Not really worth it. No, it's worth it for the fact that I'm getting paid to do it. KV Boar was founded? Are they starving to death, or is there an Etten down here? Okay, no, there isn't an Etten down there. Still trying to topple that depot. I mean, it is made of copper, so it's a pretty hefty depot. So, trust me, Steam streams don't really get you anything in the way of actual following. You know, I had more people asking me if I identified as female because I had long hair than anything. And also, you have no mod control. So, it's fun. I was like, oh, we got a trans streamer here. I'm like, pretty sure I'm a dude, but okay. Last time I checked. Just trying to poke holes and annoy, you know, as people do. Just wants to trade. I'm not certain of that. This world, maybe I'm just making all the females jealous of my glorious locks of hair. I mean, approximately 50% of the population have dicks. The rest is up in the air. Anonymous. But no, I'm doing this thing because I'm getting paid hourly. Which is, again, just kind of completely negates the need for promotion. I either want to get a lot of promotion for a thing, or I want to be paid. And if they're just paying me, that's totally fine by me. This poor dwarf on this side's all by himself, whereas all of the others are mining on this side. What? How did that happen? I mean, I was once unironically told by a girl that she couldn't go home with a guy with better hair than her, which I thought was funny. Gotta text my mother. No. So I went into the liquor store to buy beer. I was buying 2 6-packs of beer. Because I had a beer fund, and I went and bought beer. It was like Twitch payday, I think. Anyway, I'm in the liquor store, and it's like 10:30 at night. And they close in 30 minutes. And there was 2 girls behind the counter working. One of them was kind of doing I think she was counting stock. And the other one was paying 0 attention to me. She was supposed to be operating the register. And this was mid-January. And she wasn't paying any attention to me, or like interested in helping me. She was just talking to her friend who was another customer. So I assumed she knew him. She was talking to him. And then the girl who was doing the counting kind of noticed that I was just kind of waiting to be helped. gets up and walks over and says, hey, can you help this guy? And her coworker just kind of looks at her and goes, fine, walks up to the counter, starts like ringing up my order, and, or starts ringing up the beer that I was purchasing. And then just kind of jokes me, do you want to take her home? And I don't say anything in response. She's like, she's quite annoying and talks a lot and doesn't really do much help here. So if someone could take her away, that would be fantastic. And then she looks at me and goes, nah, I could never go home with a boy with better hair than me. Sorry. And I'm just sitting there going, I would like my beer. Can I please go? I mean, just wait. Patience. It'll get longer. So that's kind of the backstory behind that. So no, she didn't really turn me down. It was more just a humorous encounter between a few people in a liquor store. And I got served and I said, well, that was an interesting conversation to have today. And then I left. And that's kind of the long short of it. So I really hope that enough water comes out of the ocean that we can fill this up. Probably will. Probably will. I might block off one of the spots right here. Like maybe block this drain. So everything from right here goes straight into this. I mean, I wasn't working towards that pun, but if you want to work towards that pun, you can. And passive-aggressive way to make my hair feel bad. I assure you my hair feels just fine. There they go. Damn, stone detected. I'm not digging into an aquifer, am I? Ah, that's what I'm digging into. This is the aquifer over here. Right there. Come on, dwarves. Dig and kill until you can't dig no more. Okay. A trilby? It's a shitty type of hat. Well, not really a shitty type of hat. It's a rather nice kind of hat that has shitty connotations. Can't actually go up that way. So yeah, what even is a trilby is a very good question. Trying to figure out exactly where I can dig up here. Yeah, I briefly wore trilbies when I was younger and got bullied immensely. So I stopped. But then again, that's like the story of most things in my childhood was did it for a bit and then got bullied like crazy and then said fuck it. That's an oddly deep cut. Tapioca. I just wear toques year round now. I'm that guy. Come on, dwarves. I'm not even sure what damp stone they're hitting at this point. All right. So then we need to dig out there. Cool. Let's get this whole thing smoothed up. Although in theory, I could actually just finish this up and just completely ignore the existence of the Etten. Probably not have too many problems even. Boom, 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 boom. Heat waves in the summer and the beanie on top of your coat. See, I don't go outside during the day in the summer. Just period. Unless I need to, in which case I don't wear a hat. I just prefer to, you know, be vampire, you know? And it works quite well. As dwarves smooth this area. Looks like dwarves gave birth to a boy. Got another bab in the fort. Unintended side effect of having long hair and wearing a hat is that hides your scar. I mean, that's an oddly personal detail, but fair enough. You know, I just kind of wear toques year round and don't go outside during the day. That's generally how I work things, and it works quite well for me. If I can get away with not wearing a hat, I will, most days. Most of the scars I have are from metal shows, oddly enough. You know, chat, don't take this personally. I think I'm gonna call it for today. It's 4 p.m. I'm just not in a good mental place to be streaming right now, I think. I think that's what's up. I thought I was okay most of today, but I think I just need to spend the afternoon relaxing and maybe do some video editing. Although today has been really good. Thank you very much, so much for all the support today. Oh, it's I nailed it. 100% Tapio. You know how sometimes you have a